Have you ever felt like you're losing your mind in a relationship or interacting with someone else? Maybe you found yourself doubting your own reality, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own perceptions of a certain situation. Maybe you're not sure exactly what it feels like or what it is. You just know that something is off, that something's not right. You might be dealing with something that we call gaslighting. We're going to dive in today and talk through what gaslighting is, how to be able to identify it, and then some coping mechanisms to work through it or to be able to avoid it. Now, when we talk about this aspect of gaslighting, it is a topic that narcissists often use to be able to confuse you and to be able to manipulate and to be able to control you. If you guys are new here, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel to provide awareness, growth, healing, change, and development. I'm the founder of Raw Motivations, the creator of the NARC app, and your guide in the Escape Toxicity course, which is our 7-day challenge to healing for $7. You can get it at escapetoxicity.com. A lot of what we do here is trying to break people free of the trauma bond and the confusion, the crazy making that you feel stuck in for such a long period of time. One of these ways that a narcissist does this is through gaslighting. This is something that I use very often in my relationships, in my affairs, in different connections with other people to try to make sure that I was still in control of the conversation, that I was still in control of the other person's perception. So first off, what is gaslighting? Gaslighting is another form of emotional abuse that involves manipulating your sense of reality, making you question your own sanity. It is a very confusing aspect that leaves people distraught, not knowing what the truth actually is. I normally talk about narcissists distorting reality in 3 different ways. The first one is gaslighting. The second one is love bombing. And the third one is future faking. Doing anything and everything to be able to change the perception that you have in the moment of what's actually going on. When we talk about this, talk about manipulating your perception of reality. It oftentimes begins with these small little things, small lies, small denials of your feelings, of your emotions, and escalates to bigger and more significant efforts to control your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And gaslighting is going to look like lying 2.0. Think of, first off, lying, of saying, hey, no, I didn't do this. And the second thing of, no, I didn't do this, and making you question why you even brought this up. A lot of times when a person is gaslighting, they're going to make you question your sanity, your memory, your judgment, causing you to doubt yourself and rely on the abuser's validation. Now, a lot of times in relationships, I would utilize this because I didn't want to be held accountable for something. I was trying to avoid the possibility of having anything being put on me and me owning it and being responsible for the things that I've done. So a lot of times my wife would accuse me of saying, I think you're cheating on me. And I'd be like, no. Like, are you crazy? That doesn't even make sense. How would I even do that? Like, why are you even pulling this up? There'd be so many different pieces of it to try to switch it around and make her feel bad that she even brought that up. Some of you have a gut instinct. You have a feeling. You have this thought that you just can't get rid of, this nagging thought of something's wrong. But when you bring it up, it gets discounted. It gets disproved. It gets pushed away. It gets shoved to the side. Because a lot of times the narcissist is trying to avoid it at all costs so they don't have to face the accountability or responsibility of the actions that they've done. Gaslighting is just the same thing. It's avoiding it, running away from it, and distracting you at the same time to make you feel like you are crazy. Think of it this way. Someone might tell you that you're being too sensitive, that you're overreacting when you express your feelings. This might have happened in your own relationship where you're talking to your partner and you're saying, hey, this is how I feel. And he's like, you're overreacting. You're way too sensitive. This is ridiculous. You just need to get over this. Over time, this oftentimes will escalate even more by starting to question your memory. Like, are you sure you remember that right? I don't think that's correct. Like, I think you might need to get that checked out. By questioning your memory and manipulating your reality to make you doubt your perception of events. A lot of times what we'll see is a person will go through this whole situation and then they'll look back and be like, did that really happen? I don't think that happened. That wasn't what really happened, because there's a different perception that's trying to get placed over you time and time again. I was working with a client one time and she was talking about how she was in the kitchen with her husband talking through something, and he said something really awful, really mean, and she's just like, oh, I can't believe you said that. And he was like, I didn't say that. What are you talking about? And what she did is she pulled up, they had cameras in the house, she pulled up an iPad and pressed play because it was motion activated, and they listened to the conversation that they just had where she heard the phrase. He looked at her and he was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not me. I didn't say that. Said it with such certainty, with such confidence that it made her doubt her own reality. It made her doubt her eyes, made it doubt her ears as she actually listened to the video back. So much so that she ended up having to take the iPad to other friends and family, sit them down, have them play it, and then ask them, what did you hear? Because she was doubting her perception of reality. She was doubting what was actually true because the narcissist was so confident that they didn't say that. A lot of times the narcissist will make you doubt all aspects of reality. Now, gaslighting, a lot of times, some of the signs of it can be really challenging to be able to identify, to be able to see. There's some common signs, and we'll kind of talk through a couple of these here. Now, the first one is just what we've already talked about a little bit, is minimizing your thoughts and minimizing your feelings. Now, you've probably noticed being with a toxic person or narcissist, your feelings and your thoughts don't even count anyways. But the next step is not just ignoring them, but also minimizing them and even going a step further into making sure they're kind of pushed down. Like belittling some of your thoughts and feelings, like making sure that you know that your thoughts and feelings are extra or overreacting to try to make you doubt whether it's that big of a deal. You might see this even in just a small argument or a big argument where the narcissist comes back into the room and ignores that the argument even happened. You see this, and 5 seconds later they walk back in and be like, what's for supper? And you're like, why aren't they still upset? Maybe what we just did wasn't that big of a deal. Maybe the argument that we had, maybe it was me. All these things start to play through your mind over and over and over. And this is oftentimes what happens when gaslighting. Narcissists will do this a lot of times, not by minimizing, but also by denying. That did not happen. I had someone one time that was talking to me, and she came home and she found a condom in the trash can. And when she did, she went up and she talked to her husband. She was like, where did this come from? Leaving the condom in the trash can. He went downstairs, took the condom, threw it away someplace else, and then he came back up and said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see anything in there. He made her come back downstairs and dig through the entire trash can and then have her apologize to him because she was making it up, because it actually wasn't real. When in reality, he was the one confusing and he was the one making her feel crazy by doing what he did. A lot of times, narcissists will also gaslight you by twisting your words, by changing what you're trying to say, by blaming you for everything, by isolating you from friends and family. There's all these different pieces of it that gaslighting can be a part of it to try to get control over you, to get control over your perception of reality. Sometimes you'll see it on the emotional side of using affection or manipulation to gain control over you. And then a lot of times we'll see it to make a person feel guilty or make a person feel shame. Of like, I can't believe you would even say that. Why would you even say I was cheating? Like, do you have that little trust on me? I've been here for you. Like, all these things will flip it around on you. Like, sometimes they'll come out right out and they'll be like, hey, your feelings are invalid, okay, or wrong. Like, putting it back on you, despite after you express them clearly. Like, no, that's not what it is. That's not true. And a lot of times you'll see a narcissist that will blame you for their actions, causing you to doubt yourself and to feel responsible for their behavior. I have a quote that I thought of the other day, and I was like, I need to say this. I need to put this out there. And I was like, a narcissist is one of those people that can punch you in the face and then have you apologize for the pain that you're feeling. And a lot of times it's switching it back. It's turning it back around on you, adjusting your perception of reality of like, wait a second, you just hurt me. But instead, you have to apologize to the narcissist. You have to apologize to that person because they're denying and they're showing you that you're in the wrong when you haven't done anything at all. A lot of times we'll see this in the form of gaslighting and manipulation. Gaslighting ends up having a huge emotional impact. And like the mental like confusion, the mental like craziness that it feels like hurts people for a long period of time to try to be able to figure out what is actually real, what is actually true. A lot of times is like the path that we try to walk people down to have them understand the reality of the situation, to be able to go through their emotions and feelings to find what they're actually believing in the moment so that they can get free from it. So we can actually guide them through it. I was talking to someone the other day that was in therapy, and one of the things that the therapist is doing is, I normally call it stop thought therapy. It's like, stop thinking about it. And I'm like, how's that working out? And she's like, it's not. And I was like, yeah, because it's not actually helping the full way. It's only going halfway. It's not actually helping you replace the things that are happening there because you still have a story. You still have subliminal programming that's still going through the same thing that's telling you a different version of reality. Until we change that, until we work on helping you change how you're thinking about it, you'll always go back. You'll always be stuck in the rumination until you change the thought process. With a gaslighting, we see a lot of times heightened anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and disconnection just of reality. Sometimes you might be going through this, and one of the easiest things early on is just to start to journal. Start to write things down so you can actually ground yourself into reality. Another one of the things that we do is we actually talk people through how to change the story that they believe, because there's a piece of the situation and the relationship that you're in that you believe something, either about the other person or about yourself, that's leaving you locked and stuck in that relationship. We try to help you actually flip the script on that to get back to reality, back to the truth of the situation. It's very true, the saying, the truth will set you free. That's the only thing. Otherwise, you'll stay stuck in the fog, in the trauma bond for a long period of time. And people stay stuck in this in a long period of time excessively because they're not able to see. And gaslighting requires this awareness of the situation and then a willingness to actually take action. With setting boundaries, you can start to see a little bit. Seeking therapy, seeking support, getting into communities, into some of our groups that we have to actually be able to help you see what it looks like, is one of the only things we see people actually break through the fog, when they bring that truth of the situation and they're able to step forward. Go to escapetoxicity.com today to start off on our 7-day challenge for $7 to help you understand about these concepts, to help you start to see the situation, to hear the hard truths that you need to hear so that you can start down your journey of healing, of growth, and of change.